Hey, hey, happy Monday. It is time to jump into our Beauty Mind webinar. What's up, Allison?
What's up?
All right. Nothing's up. Actually, everything's up.
Yes, a lot
It's
of things. I just had coffee with some of the girls from our salon, and
awesome.
now I'm just here. That's what's up.
And that's the thing, because Monday, and that's what we're really urging people to do is all of this structuring their lives better, being more intentional, and using your days off strategically to get the things done or to just maximize your life. But it could be just being coffee with some of your team and aligning and having a good time.
Yeah, I always think of these things that I want to do with my team, and I think a lot of salon owners go through this. They like want to do more, but they don't know where to draw the line. Like, where is asking too much? And then you want to be able to give your team opportunities to get together and do fun things, but you don't want it to be like too workish, so they feel like it's another day of work. So I've been kind of struggling with that, kind of like probably the entire time I've had a team, because I want to give everybody an opportunity to connect and do fun things together, but I never want it to feel like too much work. So originally we were going to do a Galentine's Day party today, but we decided to do it Saturday during our work day instead and just make it a fun day at work. But a couple of people were like, hey, I was like really bummed. I wanted to do that today. We were going to make it Galentine's / like goal setting 2025 manifestation party. So instead we just got coffee and all talked about our goals and like things that we want to achieve this year and things like that.
I love that. I love that. Well, today we're gonna jump into this here in a few about like the differences between Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts for desktop and mobile. Because as we're giving these new things that you need to do every single day, you also need to know where you need to be to do some of those things. Can you like, oh, I can't figure out how to schedule this post on my desktop. It's like, well, you might not be able to. You might need a third-party app for that. Or one of the ones like YouTube Shorts has been something that's been in transition for it's been evolving since it came out, which every app does, but YouTube Shorts in particular, because everybody else already had vertical videos. So when they came to the stage, they could only do 60 seconds. Now it's longer, but then can you add a cover? And people will go on desktop and it says you can't add it on there. So then they'll go on YouTube Studio and then they can't add it on there. And it's like, well, you have to use only the mobile app to go in and add a cover. But instead of just using whatever YouTube gives you where your face is just like this or whatever, or you try to find
I
the
can
right
never
spot.
find a good spot for my face
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Unless I intentionally pause during the video to like get it,
Get it.
but
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
never.
So we're going to go over all of those things here shortly, just to give you an idea of where the current state of social media is and where to do some of these things. And like where you can change your TikTok caption. I didn't even think you could do it for the longest time. I'm not even sure how long you've been able to, but we'll give you some data on that. But before we do, our newsletter this past weekend, Saturday, was called the Delayed Lift. This is one of our theories or one of our rules to live by to correct your social media, your relationship to social media. And the delayed lift basically means when you post a video, a vertical video on whatever platform, sometimes it takes more than the first 2 days. Sometimes it will go viral later on. And you'll see what happens in the trends of politics or media or life or whatever's going on. Sometimes it just won't be that video's time and it will have a delayed lift effect where then it will go viral later on. So we want to really focus on this primarily because this allows you to know that it might happen later so that you don't focus on the success of it in the short term. And this is going to solve your relationship to social media and heal it, because if that's your focus, you won't be harping on like, oh, it only has 100 views, 200 views or whatever. Like, you never know when it could take off. Sometimes it is immediate, sometimes it's a delayed lift. And have you seen that in your content now?
Oh yeah, I definitely have. I was looking back to see at the beginning of the year, I was looking back to see what videos did well throughout the year and kind of analyze like why I thought they did well and what direction I was going to go with my social media. And I noticed that some reels had hit 8,000, 12,000, 15,000. I had no idea. Now, I probably didn't realize they did because there wasn't a lot of engagement on them as far as comments and, people responding to me
Yeah.
on them. But they got a ton of views and a lot of shares, which, you don't get notifications when people share your posts. So that was just something, I mean, I posted it and it was done. I might have paid attention to it for a day or two, but this is posts that took off days later, weeks later, probably even, I mean, I don't know. I didn't look, maybe months later. But I noticed that they went viral later on. So, or they had that delayed lift later on. So I've definitely noticed it. I notice it in mostly content that refers to leading my team. So anything where it was, if I remember off the top of my head correctly, it was like 3 different posts. I was doing hair in all of them, teaching maybe like a couple people around me, and it had words over the video that were like my opinion on something or my take on something, education wise. So it was a very specific video style that it happened with. But yeah, I've definitely noticed it.
Yeah, I love that because and being able to call it something, and that's something that's kind of been in our minds for a while. Now being able to call it something and something to really focus on, because you never know when that's going to happen. And what this now, like with this structure of getting ahead of the game, shooting a bunch of content on the weekend or on a certain day, and getting it all done, and maybe shooting everything and then editing it every day so that way you have maybe a time to edit. Could take you 5 minutes, could take you an hour, but having the time to do so. But if we're creating content and structuring it and getting ahead of the game, that allows you to be on offense more, focusing on the delayed lift if it's going to happen later on. But then through the week, if we're not thinking about things because our content is already scheduled or we've gotten most of the work done, that allows you to be in the moment and allow a spontaneous moment to happen. Like I did this week, I had stuff scheduled out for the whole week, and that content did okay. But the piece of content that went viral for me that has like 350,000 views from this week was one that just happened organically, that I was like, "Oh, I should throw that on TikTok and I should throw that on Instagram to see what happens."
Was it the
And with the card, yeah, a credit card, I threw it, it landed in a funny way. You should watch it on TikTok and, Instagram. But it was spontaneous, but because I didn't have the weight of creating content all week long, I had a moment where it was a funny video. I added the captions on TikTok, and then I added the captions separately on Instagram. Made sure that I added moments where it was going to keep the attention of the viewer and hold the watch time. And that one, yeah, it's like 320, 350,000 total across all platforms, and got me the most attention this week. But if you have to get the weight off your shoulders to be able to execute like that.
Yeah, because that's just negative energy when you're putting all that extra thought into it or tying your worth to how well a video is going to do or how well a video did. When you remove all of that, you infuse it with so much more positive energy. It's like more excitement, like, oh, I'm going to post. This is fun. This is cool. This is witty, whatever it is, whatever you're posting. And then just put it out there. And it's like, it is what it is. And then it takes off. And it's like, it's because, first of all, I talk about this a lot, but there's the power of now. When you
Mhm.
do something that's cool or exciting or fun and you feel good about it and you put it out, it does better than if you wait days and sit on it and overthink the caption, overthink the purpose of the video and all of that. So yeah, there was like the power of now when you filmed that. You popped it up and it just took off.
Absolutely. Um, so that's really what we're trying to do at the end of the day, because so everybody's worried about, well, what if somebody sees that this didn't get a lot of attention? And you could say, so what? Let's see what
Oh,
tomorrow's does. It doesn't matter. We can't be tied to that. Our personal feelings can't be tied to that. We have to be on offense longer. This is the tough period. When you start something new, it's a tough launch. But if you focus on that delayed lift, you get ahead of the game and you structure your content ahead of time or do most of the work ahead of time, then you allow yourself the freedom to do whatever else comes to mind throughout the week, throw it up there, see what happens, and then magic can happen.
yeah. Love it.
So, yeah, so that's our nice message for today. Let's go into the key differences for mobile and desktop. So, this is something that, like I said, has gradually evolved over time for some of these platforms, and we just want you to be aware of the differences, so that way you can make sure, like as we talk about, it's more about putting the content out regularly. So if you find that amazing, and then eventually we want to evolve our process and get better at things over time, like adding covers for different on Instagram or on TikTok or on YouTube Shorts. It's not like an end all be all, but once you break through one glass ceiling, now you're posting consistently. Now, and maybe you're running out of time before, and you were worried that it might not look great. You could always go back and change some things, but this is what we want you to be aware of here. So, Allison, when you're posting your content, are you using mobile for everything?
Pretty much. I would say yes. Occasionally, I will go on desktop. I'm trying to think of different times that I specifically use like Instagram desktop. If I'm posting, I'm probably on my phone. In YouTube, different. If I'm doing YouTube, I always use the desktop. But yeah, for TikTok and Instagram, I pretty much always use my phone. I do have Instagram pulled up on my computer if I am like in the middle of something over there, or I want to make sure I'm like replying to, if I posted something that I want to make sure I'm consistently replying to throughout the day and I'm at work,
Mhm.
I'll have that pulled up while I'm working. But for the most part, yeah, I use it on my phone.
Yeah, and these are things that we have to look at regularly because things change all of the time. But currently, so on Instagram, and obviously with Mastermind Media, we have our social media manager posting for our clients and everything. And so as things change, we're keeping up with it because in the days of static posts and photo posts and all of that, when Instagram was just that, or Facebook was only that, then we would use a scheduling app and everything. We would just schedule everything and then it would just go out. And then eventually Instagram allowed you to do it within the app. But when you're scheduling posts, and this is mostly we're talking about vertical videos, you can schedule posts on mobile on Instagram. Desktop, you need a third party app for that one. Adjusting captions, you can adjust Instagram captions on mobile and desktop. You can upload a cover on mobile or desktop, and you can go live on mobile, but desktop, you need a third party app for for Instagram in particular. And then when we're talking about TikTok, scheduling posts, you can only schedule a post on desktop for TikTok. So if you're trying to schedule a post on your mobile, you're not going to be able to do that currently. Adjusting captions, for the longest time, it was like, all right, well, it's TikTok. You can't go and adjust the caption. If you go on desktop, you can actually go into TikTok Studio, Creative Studio, and then change your caption there, so you can tweak it if you need to.
I think so many people just are accepting the fact that you cannot edit a caption when you in fact can.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
especially which I think it's okay if I think learning to live with a caption is a good thing if needed, right? If the problem is if you put a caption out and then you got some viewership and you take the video down because you have to change the caption. No, you just go to your desktop and you can actually do it there.
yeah.
So I think that's the biggest issue. There is a little piece of having to live with what the caption said, or if you made a spelling error. Something I like about that, because it's not it's somewhat tied to perfectionism, or to
We
perfection,
love
but
fighting the perfectionism.
yeah. So, oftentimes in my edits, if I see like if I look at the final and I see there's one thing wrong with it, initially my first instinct is to change it, but then I go, nah, let's leave it. So there's one thing that's wrong with it. And
I
that allows me to find speed.
I saw that today in somebody's video. Oftentimes I find if there's spelling error, it actually does better. I don't think that's actually legitimately true. But when I see a spelling error, to me, it tells me that the person behind the video actually did type that out, because now we live in a world where we have to wonder if everything was authentic, genuine, or if it was AI generated and not put that extra piece of their actual feelings into. So when I see a spelling error, I'm like, oh, they in fact did type this, because AI would not
Yeah.
make that mistake. But I saw somebody post today, and it is a viral hairdresser. He's very, very popular. I believe he lives in Australia. I forget exactly where he lives. But anyways, he was talking about how he is deleting his most viral reel because it went insanely viral. He's getting millions of views a day. And it's not attracting his audience that he wants. He
Mm.
is going viral. Like for some reason, the video went viral in India. And so his audience is now full of middle-aged men, and they're DMing him saying what like a fan of they are of his. And he's like, he does women's hair, and the techniques that he does and the things that he talks about he's not getting the audience that he wants to speak to. So he's deleting the reel because it went viral in the wrong way. And his words on the carousel post, when you swipe through it, one of them was like a pretty significant spelling error. And instead of saying not, he said now. So I forget what the sentence was, but it was something along the lines of, I am now, I now care about basically like how many views I get, but he meant to say I do not, or I care about how many views I get. And it was like saying that he does now, but he does not. So I was like, oh, I would have probably wanted to correct that, but I think the rest of his posts, like people will realize it was a spelling error, but that's one of those things that's like, can't go back and change it now because it's
Yeah. Wow,
not
that's
a
fun.
possibility. But it was the words on the swipe post. It wasn't like a caption that he could edit. So whatever, I picked up on what he was saying, but it could definitely be taken the wrong way because of the spelling error.
Yeah, it's so interesting in this day and age with the AI's influence with authenticity and all of that. So,
Yeah, at
yeah,
least
a
I know
lot of
it was actually genuinely him with his own feelings and not something he pulled off the internet.
yeah, that's awesome. All right, so yeah, so now you can change your TikTok caption. You just have to use it on desktop, and then going live on TikTok. You can go live on mobile, of course, but desktop TikTok has a third party app that not third party. I guess it's their app still. I think it's called like TikTok Live Studio, and like you do a whole experience there. So that's something to just be aware of. Now, this one, since YouTube Shorts has evolved latest, right? Scheduling posts, you can schedule your YouTube Shorts on mobile or desktop. And YouTube's so tricky, right? Because you have YouTube on desktop, you have YouTube on mobile, you would then have YouTube Studio app where it gives you all your analytics and all of that. And then you have YouTube TV. They're like, they're expanding their whole business. So we want to be aware of all of the different things and the opportunities there. And one thing I wanted to mention before even we get to YouTube, on Instagram and TikTok, if you can't find the feature, it may be because you don't have a creator account. That's another factor too. You're like, oh, I can't change this. Well, you might not have a creator account. You might need to change yours to a creator account or business account at that point. That's a whole other video. We could do the pros and cons of that. I know Allison, you specialize in that.
Yeah, I
In
think
the current way.
we haven't talked about it on our webinar, but I believe I've talked about it on Instagram somewhere. I could dig it out.
Yeah, for sure. So, so YouTube Short. So when you're posting a YouTube Short of the vertical videos on YouTube, you can post on mobile and desktop. You can schedule your posts on mobile and desktop. You can adjust your captions on mobile and desktop. Now, uploading a cover. You can upload a cover, but if you're uploading your short on YouTube on desktop, it's going to tell you that you have to go to mobile to do that. And when this first was the option, we were using YouTube Studio and we still weren't finding that option. But the trick is you have to go on your actual mobile app and go to the post that's already posted. And there's like a little pencil on the top right of the actual vertical video when you're editing it, and you click that, and then you could upload a cover there. So now you can have your seamless seamless flow on there as well and have all your branding together. That's, I think maybe one day we'll do a whole day specializing on your YouTube channel as well, because YouTube is a great place to build right now because long form is coming back in the way of YouTube videos, because what we're seeing in the world of television and film is transforming entirely as the younger generation is getting older and they've been spending all of their time on YouTube with influencers and all of that their whole lives, versus we had both, right? We had movie theaters. That's the only place you could watch the movie initially. So there was, you had to go there. It was the exclusivity of it. Now, that next week it's going to be streaming. You don't have to go there, which minimizes that. But now all of these Netflix shows, they're seeing how Mr. Beast is going viral and has hundreds of millions of views, billions of views, and now his platforms on YouTube are worth billions of dollars. So this is the day of the creator. So if you're building your vertical videos, trying to, grow your books and everything, that's great. But there's a whole other chance of another revenue stream through long form and educational content or informational content. And one thing that we're coaching people to is creating a podcast within your company, within your salon. Why not showcase your team through the way of a podcast that's fun and fresh and shows their personalities and is super educational and informational? That's a huge way. You can have long form, splice that into short form, and it's a small investment to get started. So YouTube would be the place. That's my YouTube tangent for the day.
And I'm over here visualizing how I have mics in the corner of my office waiting for me to use them. We have such a cool team, and everybody's like got their own little personalities. And sometimes we will have conversations in the office or the break room that I'm like, why are we not recording this? Like, this is spot on. We need to be recording. It's one of those things like you can't rehab the conversation. Like, it's authentic and on the spot and it's cool. And then to rehab it would just be too staged. But I so badly want to do this with my team. I just feel like it would be so fun to put our conversations out there and let people see like what we actually deal with as a salon team. And it's like fun stuff, like different struggles that we've had and different things that we've overcome with our clients and like different, hair nightmares that we've dealt with and had success with and things like that. I think that would be so cool to put out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have all of our podcast equipment that we have in our studio here in Hollywood, California. We have that on Amazon where you can literally just click and buy. And there's different levels to it. Getting into it, you don't have to have 4 cameras and the whole monitor setup and live cutting and all of that. Eventually we can coach to that, but we want to simplify the process to get you in the game. Like literally right now, let's see if I can even show this. Boom. So this is our setup. Literally, we have our live cutting station. We have live cutting station right here. And then we have our Rodecaster Pro setup. So the audio is coming through the microphone. This is the monitor that we use, but it might seem like a lot, but we've done all the hard work for you to simplify the whole process. And that way I would just even start with one camera, a unique angle, get a mic or two and just get started. Even a boom mic could be cool. And then that way you get long form and that can be spliced to short form using Opus.Pro or something. Maybe we should I know we're talking about Opus.Pro at our event in Vancouver, but I think really pushing for podcasts to be every salon should have a podcast. It just drives so much more attention. You get that long form angle. So that's something I think we'll focus a lot on in the coming months. So
you need to fly out to Michigan and we need to get this set up at my salon and we could film the whole setup and be like, all right, here's like, we're transforming this area to be like our podcast setup. Here's what we're going to do to simplify the process and literally just film us setting it up so people can watch it and do it with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's make that happen. Let's make that happen in the next couple of months. And because that's the thing is, and as we get to like the final one about going live, there's 2 things: showcasing your team in long form so that way you can splice it up to short form and drive attention, and your podcast could become bigger than the salon that you could eventually monetize. But all of that attention, you do it right and you send that through to your business, you can grow your salon numbers that way. But also just going live, being able to just have a live camera on front desk that they can engage with and talk to, because TikTok, especially TikTok, allows you to continuously be discovered by new people that aren't following you. But if you have some kind of setup that you're live on Facebook, right? You built attention on Facebook, you're live on Facebook, right? You use StreamYard. So use StreamYard and then go live through StreamYard to Facebook, to YouTube, to TikTok, which I think you can do TikTok now, or it's about to be available. Then that's a world of a difference. That's attention. They're just seeing you there. And maybe you're playing games with people that are watching, or maybe they're just watching the experience of people coming in. It's a busy day. That's giving you attention to keep you top of mind. That's what all of these apps are doing. They're gaining attention so you stay top of mind, and then they get referred to other people, and then they come into your salon, they have an amazing experience, and then you grow and you compound that way. But if you're going to go live on YouTube Shorts, you can do it mobile. Oh, not YouTube Shorts, just YouTube as a whole. You'll go mobile and desktop for that one as well. But that's
Such
where
a
the world is going.
mindset shift of like creating content because so many beauty professionals think that people want to see the client's results. And it's like, no.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Obviously, that's it's a misconception because it's everybody's just showing the back of heads and showing hair. But they want to see the personality, want to know you know what you're talking about. They want to know that they can trust you and have a good time. But if you have a live going, when people are leaving, if they want to go and do a post for the live cam, they can go do that. And you have that like so knowing that you're going to do a great job and having some hair, of course, is a good thing. It's a check off, you know, off the list, but it's not the only thing. And people are thinking it's the only thing. But I like even having a dash of that on your page, but also having a dash of that on your live stream too.
I love that. I love that. It would be cool to just have it set up and like have a little area that's like, this is like the live cam area, kind of like do not enter if you don't want to be on the live cam, but if you want to be, then hop on. I think it'd be so cool.
Yeah. You want to jump on the live cam like as you're getting checked out? That's kind of cool.
I love that. And then if it's a wedding party or something like that, they can go in there and I say in there because I'm kind of imagining it being like a little cubby area.
Yeah, conventional type of thing.
Yeah.
Or stage with your like a small little stage that you step up on. Because whoever's going live could even turn it to that potentially. Or if you have a separate camera there and they could hit the button to go to that camera. Oh, we're gonna go, live cam with this person. Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah. So we're thinking on that. And that's what I mean, as you guys are seeing, we're literally thinking of this on the spot and bringing you in on that conversation because there are no rules to this game. This game is a structure. It's an opportunity. So what if you had a morning show every morning, if people are driving to work, you find the time that most people are driving to work and that's the time you're going live and people could just tune into that. We're toying with the idea of doing a morning show here because the setup is here. We just need a few influencers to come in and talk trending events, maybe have our interns on one side creating the topics for the day. Boom, they drive the attention to that. We have influencers show up and we put it on mastermindmedia.com or mastermindbeauty.com. There's so much you can do.
Yeah, especially in a salon. I feel like maybe this is just our salons, but in the morning, it's just like a few people showing up to work and usually they're finishing getting ready while they're like setting up their station. And sometimes we'll pop in and curl our hair real quick before the day starts or have a conversation while we touch up our makeup before the day starts or, finish our lipstick before the day starts or whatever. And it's like just the conversation and like the prep for the day. I think that would be really cool to show.
I would actually say that you find the part of the team that wants to do that, that's open to doing that, and you do it every single day or once a week or what have you. I would say every day would be the best, right? If you find out who's going to do it that day and you have the setup where it's easy, it could even be like, it could even just be on an iPhone and just go live every day as you come in 30 minutes early. It's like the 30-minute prep or something. Hey, what's up, everybody? Like, I'm just, going live talking about this. What's going on in your world? Then you eventually build an audience for that period of the day that people are checking in. They need something in the morning. That's why morning shows did so well. And they still are on the radio, people driving to work. You have time there. But now podcasts, of course, have disrupted that market. But a live podcast at a beauty, salon or something, there's definitely something there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just depending on and I think a lot of salons usually do have a couple people who would jump all over that. And then they have a couple who are like, not my thing. I don't know if I can do that. Like want to, but not sure I can be pushed that far. But then once you start it and it becomes fun and people are like, hey, that was actually really fun. Like I remember the first time I did a podcast, I'm like, that was so fun. I want to do another one. So it's like, you have to get it started and then other people jump on or they become more comfortable with it because they see that it's going well and that it's fun to do and other people can encourage them. So you might not have a full team that's like, I want to do that. Let's all show up at, 8 a.m. and record ourselves. That's kind of unrealistic, especially when you have a team of people who not everyone is super comfortable in front of the camera. But definitely you just have to start somewhere and get the couple of people who want to, and then just go for it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like having the moment of building up because the cool thing is you could post it afterwards as well. Our Monday webinars, I think we can do an even better job alerting people beforehand to get more people watching it live, but most people watch it afterwards currently. Yeah. So even right now we have 4 people watching, right? This is still a new thing that we haven't really fully developed. However, we know that there's a lot of value in these webinars, but there's going to be a time. I think we're like 3 months in or 5 months in or whatever it is, and we do these every Monday now. It used to be monthly, now it's weekly. So it's a new job to make it something really powerful, which it is. So now that we have the product, now we have to start getting more of the attention on the live, but we're still, most of our Beauty Mind membership is watching it afterwards in the actual webinar portal in Beauty Mind.
Yeah, and they're watching
So
multiple at a time. They're like, okay,
yeah,
I've got, a couple of hours and I'll go ahead and knock out 4 of them.
yeah. So now you can do your live even if nobody watches your live. You could post it afterwards, and then people will watch it then. But you have to be okay with not as many people watching it
Yeah.
initially.
And it takes time to build. It takes
Is
time to build stuff. I mean, I feel like we grew Mastermind Beauty quite quickly, like especially to the things that we've been doing now. And now it's, 2 months into 2025 and we're absolutely killing it. But when I think about the fact that we've only been doing this for a couple of years, I'm like, wow, a couple of
Yeah.
years might seem like a long time to some people, but for building what we're building, it's actually quite quick. And now that we've got the webinar, we can take all of that work that we've already put in over the last couple of years and start filtering those people into our webinar. And yeah, it's going to take time to get people to remember that, oh, on Mondays they do this, or, to join the membership and to be consistent on them. And like you said, we could do a lot better job promoting that we're about to do one. I've actually been quite bad at that and usually just throw up the link before. But yeah, it takes time to build stuff. And I think that's why we've seen so much success, because we just know that it's going to take time to build, and really grateful for like how quickly we have been able to fill our books and promote our business. But like anything, things take time.
Take time, and it's a process, and we don't attach it to our personal feelings, because we know what we're bringing to the table, and it's not about who's showing up for the live. Eventually there will be hundreds of people on our Monday webinars, and I'll look back on this moment of, what is today, February 17th, and say, remember when we didn't have that many people watching live and they would just watch it afterwards, but now look at all the people that we have incorporated into it and with our interviews. And but you have to start somewhere and be able to take the low viewership initially to then grow. You have to. That's the only way.
Don't tie it to your
Um,
worth.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's where the current market is. That's where the current platforms are, mobile versus desktop. So always keep an eye on those things. If you guys have any questions and you are a part of our Beauty Mind membership, you can put it in the member chat. And yeah, this is the game is changing. I'm really excited about the live stuff that we're talking about. I'm really excited about the podcast that people can set up for their salons or the distribution companies. So much that you can do for all of that, because people need content. Now we need to simplify the process, and it might just be a small investment, and that your whole world could open up. But you have to try. You have to put yourself out there, be willing to fail, and then over time, with discipline, patience, and hard work, great things can happen.
Yeah, we got to get that Amazon link up on our Beauty Mind.
Yeah, I'll do that today.
Yeah.
Boom. All right, cool. Well, happy Monday. Next week, we'll probably do it on Saturday, because we'll be in Vancouver. We'll be teaching Sunday and Monday. So we'll probably do our Beauty Mind webinar on Saturday. We'll do our best to promote that better.
We will at least announce it at some point when it's actually going to be.
Yeah. And well, the thing is, announcing it, number one, putting it on the member chat to remind people, sending out an email the day of or the day before, right? Those are the things that you have to do to get people on there. But it does take a lot of additional work when you're starting something new. So it's about, figuring out that game plan. So we know what to do. Now it's about implementing into that to make sure that we get more viewers initially, but as long as it's posted afterwards, everybody benefits.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
All right. Well, I will see you on Thursday in Vancouver.
See you on Thursday. Yes, absolutely. And if you guys live in the BC area and are looking, I think I don't know how many tickets are left, but check in with West Coast Beauty. Yeah, yeah. So we have 2 days there. But in the meantime, we'll see you on social media, and catch you next week.
See ya.